Welcome. You're listening to Ask the Doulas, a podcast where we talk to experts from all over the country about topics related to pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and early parenting. Let's chat.
Hello. This is Kristin Revere with Ask the Doulas, and I'm joined by our own Jackie Viscusi. She is a sleep consultant with us for not only infants, but also toddlers, a mom of two, and a baby and toddler music teacher. Welcome, Jackie.
Hi, thank you. Yes, you say it right every time, but I think that you get nervous and hesitate because it is a trickier last name. But Viscusi.
I do have to. I'm like, I did it wrong. But yes,
no, you did it right.
Last name. With the topic today of baby sleep and maternal mental health, I would love to dive into the seriousness about how sleep deprivation can affect the mother and the entire family's mental health.
Yes. It feels like it goes without saying, but I don't think it's something that's talked about enough. I think it's shamed, like it's made out to be stigmatized, like that maybe, you can't handle that your baby's not sleeping, right? Or like you're, in some way it's indicative of how strong of a parent or mother that you are. And nothing could be further from the truth. Sleep deprivation absolutely robs the brain of executive functioning, of any sort of functioning and mood regulation. And on top of hormonal imbalances that are happening, it is very real that you can slip easier into postpartum depression, anxiety, OCD, any of those postpartum or perinatal mood disorders much easier when you have sleep deprivation at hand.
Absolutely. And it is not something, as you mentioned, that is talked about enough, but you're getting clients, because I handle the intakes and see the desperation when they have gone for months or sometimes years with the toddlers without sleep. And you're, as a sleep consultant, sort of their last chance at trying to function like they did before having baby or multiple babies for the twin families and triplets that we work with.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, I think it's one of those things that's easy to forget, like when you're not in the thick of it, like how hard it is, and how hard it is to function, especially working parents. I mean, all parents are working, right? But like if you're having to get up for a 9 to 5, if you're not getting at least a few hours of solid sleep in, you very well could crash. And I think it's a struggle, because I know we want to do safe sleep. I know we want our babies in their own space, in a safe environment, which is in a bassinet right next to the bed. But it also, there are higher instances of co-sleeping and SIDS, because families are so exhausted that they don't know what else to do other than to put the baby in with them. And there is a lot that you can do outside of that. It is very, very behavioral. And one of my favorite things is seeing, those intake forms and seeing where they started and then seeing where we end up. And they are sleeping, give or take throughout the night. We don't do anything extreme. It's not going to be like, we've got to jump to cry it out, or that you have to stop breastfeeding or feeding at night. Nothing like that. There are so many like holistic measures that we can do, and behavioral things that we can do that goes above and beyond traditional sleep training, that can get your family sleeping better and feeling better.
Right. And it's not just overnight sleep, it's also naps. And, as they say in that advice, rest when baby's resting. And, you don't need to do all of the cleaning and all of the things. This is about bonding and recovery, and not only your physical recovery, but the mental recovery. And so, yes, so anytime that you can really get a good nap routine in and take advantage of that and also get rest yourself is so important.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, because sometimes I forget to mention naps, because in my mind it's so ingrained. It's like, overnight and naps, it's all connected to me, like how they're sleeping at night with their naps. But yes, we do both. And sometimes people will ask, do you work on naps too? And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. It's all a part of it, and prolonged sleep. And we track the sleep. So it's for days after. And we give feedback and we do check-ins and we make sure that things are running smoothly. And if they're not, that sleep log helps us be able to kind of course correct it. And I'm able to see the data and see the sleep behavior and how the baby's doing, how mom's doing. And those check-ins help us do that as well. And so nighttime sleep is usually what people seek after first, just because they need that relief. But naps follow really, the next day, and we work on getting all of that better. We work on the schedule first and let the baby align to that schedule. And then we work on sleep behavior starting the first night, and then naps the very next day.
One of my favorite holiday traditions is getting my family new pajamas. I can't wait to gift the adults in my family the bamboo pajama set from Cozy Earth this season. They're designed with a soft stretch knit that drapes beautifully and sleeps degrees cooler than cotton, with the lightweight set that keeps them cozy without overheating. Perfect for holiday mornings, winter nights, and beyond. The bamboo pajama set from Cozy Earth brings joy beyond the holiday season, and they offer hassle-free returns. Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth. Right now, you can stack my code Gold Coast on top of their site-wide sale, giving you up to 40% off in savings. These deals won't last, so start your holiday shopping today. If you get a post-purchase survey, mention you heard about Cozy Earth on Ask the Doulas podcast. Wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth, and remember the code Gold Coast. And sometimes there are other family members, say a mother-in-law helping with daytime or overnight sleep. You may have a nanny, au pair, or an overnight postpartum doula. How does that work in to help with maternal mental health and sleep when you're having other people care for your child? And I have discussions with our postpartum doula clients about, wondering if they're going to be able to fully relax and sleep with someone else in the home.
Yeah. I think it's building your village to have those other people there, and that can introduce, maybe a different way of doing things, especially, if it's like a mother-in-law or an aunt figure. But one of the I think the greatest resources that we have is that we can work together. So we'll work with a postpartum doula, or we'll have, ideally we'll have grandma on the call, and we'll go through the plan together so that everybody's on the same page. And that makes a huge difference, because consistency across the board is what's going to get us there even quicker. And the sleep log also, I can share that with other people. So if they want to be able to input, let's say, mom and dad are at work and grandma has the baby, they can either email me, or they can input what the nap looked like that day. And that way we can have it all logged and stored in one place. And it's easier for troubleshooting and, like I said, maintaining that consistency across the board.
Exactly. And sometimes when you're so sleep deprived, it's overwhelming to execute a plan with our sleep consultant. And so having help from even the partner can be so beneficial, but they, as you mentioned, need to be on the same page in order to help you catch up on sleep.
Yeah, because you want to be able to like really recharge. And if you're nervous that, maybe someone doesn't know what kind of like the routine is or what, it's not going to be as helpful. And so I think that's why I like calling it consulting or even counseling, because it's sleep training. It almost is reductive in what it really means, and that means getting everybody on the same page and on board. And I think with moms, it's helpful to have someone else to be able to hold everybody accountable gently and lovingly. So I've been on calls with other family members, and I'll just gently remind them, or I'm able to look at the log and say, oh, hey, I noticed that we kind of like pushed this nap, like just what was going on here. Okay, let's try to remember, outside of this window is a little, they might be overtired or overstimulated. So it helps take that pressure off of the mom or the dad, because there's another advocate there for her. There's another person there that is kind of moving the ship so that she can take some breaks and relax and be able to rest and restore.
Exactly. So important to take breaks and feel like yourself, whatever, that self-care is for each individual. Could be, stepping out on the balcony and having a cup of tea, or getting on the phone with your friend and talking about anything but motherhood. So whatever it takes to get out of that constant role of the mother and find a bit of your own joy.
Yeah. And even like 10 minutes a day, like, just setting realistic goals for yourself. I mean, hopefully it's more than 10 minutes a day, but I even mean like setting aside 10 minutes to like do a little bit of at-home yoga. There's a great resource called Yoga with Adrienne, and she does very gentle restorative yoga, and that really saved me postpartum, because she has different ones like yoga for anxiety, yoga for stress, and they're like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. They have different times, but that could be really helpful. I mean, just make sure your body can move a little bit and make sure, you're not doing anything that would, hurt you. But all of her stuff is pretty perinatal friendly. So, so just setting that time aside to be able to, just detach and restore and move is really helpful. And that's also why I started doing music classes for babies and toddlers and moms, because it's an hour. You're still there with your little one, but the music classes are also very helpful for the parents as well, to get out, socialize, be around other moms, sing, listen to music, and be able to just restore some of that stress, because we've learned that music can help with dopamine, it can help with oxytocin, it can help with serotonin and neuroepinephrine, which are basically neurochemicals that we need in order to feel good. And so things like music, and then using music for sleep, having your own restful time to relax. There's studies saying that even just relaxing your body, laying horizontal, being in a restful state can be almost as restorative as deep REM. So, make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and sleep is going to really help, with the neurotransmitters of the brain, like music. And it also will help lessen stress hormones, lessen anxiety, irritability, and it will help your cognitive, all of your cognitive reasoning as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did music together classes with both of my kids.
That's what I'm doing.
I loved it so much. And as you mentioned, it's great to interact. I feel like part of the maternal health concerns that I've had since the pandemic have been, we have, of course, social media and the internet to connect us, but we're not connecting in person as much. There are fewer people even attending these postpartum groups and breastfeeding groups. And I found that whether it was going to story time at the library, meeting up with friends from my childbirth class with their babies and walking around a botanical garden, whatever I could to have, people who are going through the same thing at the same time around me. And so that's what I loved about the music classes as well. And it was a good activity pre-nap time. And I planned it around the schedule for my kids.
Yes, exactly. And the number of times I hear how well the mom's baby slept after a music class. I mean, I'd be rich if I had $1 for how many times I heard that, because there's so much stimulation. They're learning so much. They're taking in so much. It's so good for their brain and their emotional regulatory system, and same with us. And like you said, just being around other people in person. There is a difference. You do need to be in person connecting with other people. So, keep that in mind as well. As the other thing about seeking sleep support or any sort of support, right, postpartum, is I think it's easy to turn online and get very overwhelmed. So when you're Googling, you're going down rabbit holes of sleep, you're going down Reddit threads of, you're going down Facebook groups, right? And just keep in mind, these are people that have not studied this, have not been trained in it. I mean, some of them might have been, but a lot of them are not. They're not certified, or they're influencers. And it's just a little, it could be a little dodgy and overwhelming. And so that's why I think a place like Gold Coast, doulas, these guys know what they're doing. We all are trained in this. We work together. And it's just much more trusted of a resource. And that's why I do a lot of talking it out. I do check-in calls. I do a lot of talking because, not everything can be fixed online or digitally.
Right. And whether it's our sleep consultants like yourself or postpartum doulas, birth doulas on the team, we are able to give resources to in-person and online support groups, to therapists that may specialize in perinatal mood disorders or PTSD, whatever it is that our client is concerned about, or loss, whatever they're going through at that moment. We're able to give them resources. And so that is also important, to be able to know that you don't need to go to, again, that mom group to find trusted professional experts to support you.
Yep. Exactly.
So how can our listeners work with you through Gold Coast Doulas?
So go on the website and you can book a free intro call if you want to just kind of see what we're all about and what we'll be working on with you and your little one's sleep. And just make sure it's a good fit. I might ask some questions. You can ask me some questions. And then you can also look at our different packages that we offer as well. So we'll do a full consultation, a consultation only, or we'll do an entire package, and that will get you a consultation, follow-up calls, sleep tracking. It's a lot more cohesive, and unlimited email back and forth. So those are places that you can find me, as well as Gold Coast Doulas Instagram. And I'm always trying to add some more tips and recommendations there as well.
Exactly. Well, any final tips for our listeners related to infant sleep and maternal mental health?
You don't have to be quiet about it. You seek the help that you need, and know that sleep is a great first step, just because it can give you more of that mental clarity to then see what your next steps should be, i.e. a therapist, a psychiatrist for medication, just finding support groups locally that you can go to and, get off rabbit holes of being online. So, just know that you're not alone and you deserve to be feeling better.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jackie, and we will talk soon.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Doulas. For more information about Gold Coast Doulas, visit us on our website, goldcoastdoulas.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Thank you. Remember, these moments are golden.